So I've been neglecting this part of my channel this year, largely in part because the Tour de France is in our area for so many days, which took a lot of my time and effort out, but also because it just simply hasn't been ridiculously hot this summer compared to last year. I mean, it's still pretty warm, it's 30 degrees today, but it's nothing compared to like the 38 degrees we were getting regularly last summer for about 3 months on end. So I've been able to do a lot more activities, and of course the mountains haven't fallen down, so I'm still able to do alpinism in middle of August. So yeah, been doing a lot less wild swimming this year than before, but there's nothing wrong with that. That's part of the joys of living in Chamonix. There's so many things to do. So you probably noticed that it looks nothing like Chamonix, because it's not. This is actually 6th for Cheval. I've come here to go to the Gorges de Teens, which is just down there, which you've seen the start of the gorge, and now I'm heading back towards the exit of the gorge, which is where most of the fun happens. But yeah, unfortunately this is not the Gorges de Teens in Chamonix. I'm quite a bit further away this week. So 6th is just up the valley from Samoens, which is a fairly large tourist destination and a ski resort, part of the Grand Massif. But yeah, to get here from Chamonix, you're going to have to drive. There's no other way around it really. Probably about an hour's drive from Chamonix to get to Samoens, and then a little bit further to get up the valley to here. So not really close to Chamonix at all, but still. It's actually an amazing place to come, and if you want to come here and go for a swim, you might as well make a day of it too, because there's so much to be doing around here. Despite being a fairly major touristy hub, Samoens and the surrounding valley has managed to retain most of its kind of traditional agricultural rustic charm compared to Chamonix, which is just a massive tourist hotspot with tower blocks and fancy 5-star chalets and hotels everywhere. So yeah, completely different feel, and to be honest I absolutely love it here. It's stunning. But anyway, let's take you to the main event in the exit of this gorge, which is a really fun place to play. This is definitely something worth checking out while you're here. This is the ancient Gorges de Teens. So, at one point in time, the river carved this out, and then for whatever reason, it changed its course to further that way, and carved the current gorge that you see today. So, it's pretty impressive, and it's a pretty cool walk as well. And just about a 20-minute stroll up and above the current gorge, so nothing too taxing, but definitely worth it. So this is disappointing. I come here specifically to jump off of this bridge. But if I had to do that today, I'd probably be dead. Certainly break my legs, because the water here used to be at least 4 or 5 meters deep. It's now thigh deep at most. So, massive change. And I was only here last summer. I'll include some pictures just for reference, but yeah. I was just speaking to one of the rafting guides, and apparently it's due to the excavations they're doing at the other end of the gorge. So that nice clear pool I was lying down in earlier is part of the problem. They've basically dug out a load of gravel, piled it up, and then when it rains it gets washed down here and just fills up the gorge. So that's an absolute shit ton of gravel that's come down to fill up, I don't know, 4 or 5 meters worth of depth, 3 or 4 meters worth of width for basically the whole length of the gorge. That's crazy. And yeah, needless to say, rafting guides aren't too happy about it, because this is one of the main attractions for them as well. But there we are. But we still have fun, still get wet, still cool down. But yeah, you can't even jump in off these little rocks just down here, because it's, yeah, thigh deep at most. that's about the extent of the adrenaline rush you can get here now, which is a huge shame, but there we are, it is what it is. It will eventually correct itself, nature always does, but that'll be decades down the line, and that's only when they finally stop doing the excavations upstream, so this place is basically ruined now if you want to come and jump in, unfortunately. But still, it's a lovely place to come and relax nonetheless. You get the sun here, the water's lovely. There's no glacial melt water around here, there's no glaciers. And at this time of year there's no snow left to melt either, so the water's quite a bit warmer than the rivers you'll find around Chamonix. But still pretty cold. It's cold enough to cool you down on a really hot day. Probably mid to high teens rather than being about 10 degrees, which you'll find in Chamonix. So yeah, you don't need to be a Wim Hof enthusiast to be able to enjoy the water here. Most people should be able to at least get into it for a few seconds before having to get back out again. And yeah, I'd quite comfortable lie down in here all day, so yeah. It's still pleasant, it's just not the adrenaline rush I was after, unfortunately, but there we are.